This is Jim O'Connor, class of 1976, spent all 4 years in Company G4, and I was one of the plebes that lived in room 4714 when the West Point Ghost incident occurred. This all started in October, early October of plebe year. The first time was a Saturday night. Shortly after taps, I went down to the latrine and some weird stuff happened. Toilet paper unrolled itself. I couldn't move. I was scared stiff. Somebody saw me, and one of the upperclassmen, the guy that was the CQ, he was scared. And my roommate saw the CQ, saw me, and after a couple of minutes he came and got me, and I was just kind of freaked out because it was absolutely just a totally weird thing. And when my roommate got to the latrine, he saw that the toilet paper had completely rolled out. The next night, which was a Sunday night, my roommate was taking a shower, and hot and cold water kept turning on and off. That was kind of weird. Then I went to the latrine, and as I was going to flush, the handle went down by itself. So knew something was a little odd, but we were plebes, so we didn't want to draw any attention to ourselves. And unfortunately, the first time I saw it, an upperclassman saw me, so got to tell the truth. So the word was out that something weird was going on. One of the next nights, which was a Monday night, he and I were both laying in bed after taps, and I saw it, and he saw it, but I didn't know he saw it, and he didn't know I saw it. We're going to call it ghost because that's just a description. I honestly don't believe there are such a thing as ghosts, but I'm not sure what else to call it, so for lack of a better term, this apparition, we'll just call him a ghost. His eyes usually gave off a soft white tint, kind of a glow. He looked like he was a man about 5'6", about 150, 140 pounds. He had a scraggly mustache and wore an 1823 cavalry uniform. Finally, I cussed a little bit and called the apparition not the nicest of names. And my roommate said, "Do you see it too?" And I said, "Yeah." So we both felt better that it wasn't something that one of us was going nuts. We both had a lot of confidence in each other and ourselves. So we knew that what we were seeing is real. We saw him pretty much every night for almost 2 months. And in that 2-month time period, we had lots of really weird things happen. But if we were upperclassmen, if someone asked us a question about it, we could tell them to go pack sand, if you know what I mean. But as a plebe, you had to tell them what they wanted to know. So we kind of figured out that we were going to get lots of unwanted attention and messed with a lot, and we were just going to have to just work hard to get through it. And we did. One night after it's been going on a couple of weeks, they separated, my roommate and I, and he went and slept in a room with a couple of yearlings. And I was in a room with the chairman of the honor committee, and from what he told me afterwards, his job was to stay there at night, not see the ghost, and convene an honor board. He turned out to be a really nice guy, but at the time, he was really kind of PO'd about being there and made sure I was caged in my own room. And any time I fell asleep before he went to bed, I got braced in bed. So I said a little prayer, "Dear God, please let the ghost just stand on this SOB's chest and scare the living piss out of him." I didn't know what else to say. I was really getting frustrated because I was tired, and every time I fell asleep and didn't have wrinkles in my neck, he made sure I had them. Well, then I had to sleep in my roommate's bed, and he was going to sleep in my bed. So I'm sleeping in my roommate's bed. There's a little 3/4 wall between beds, which was kind of nice. And about 3 in the morning, I hear this guy screaming, "Ben, oh Ben, help!" So I get up and look around, and there's a ghost standing on his chest. And I had never seen an upperclassman, especially a first spaz before, which was pretty entertaining for a plebe to see. So I was kind of enjoying that part. And I knew where he had to go next, so I walked him down to the latrine so he wouldn't mess up my bed. He wouldn't go back in my bed. So he slept in my roommate's bed. I got back in my bed and I went to sleep. And he was pretty freaky. He was kind of like walking to the walls next morning. It was a plebe I found extremely entertaining. But after that, he became, in a way, our best friend. He told the truth, which you'd expect. We were no longer in trouble for embarrassing the Corps. An upperclassman actually had seen it. And he did things to protect us from other people in the Corps who were over-curious. And I have a lot of respect for this man. And the one thing I really liked about him is he understood that my roommate and I were telling the truth, and he treated us like we were his younger brothers after that. And it was really, really pretty cool of him. But that was one of the more amazing things that happened. Another thing that happened that the deputy chairman of the honor committee told us was that he, the superintendent, and another general officer escorted Gene Dixon to our room. Gene Dixon was the psychic who predicted President Kennedy would be assassinated in Dallas in November 1963. And Gene's mission was to go in and exorcise the ghost. She went into the room, she got levitated, got basically thrown out, landed on her keister, and ran away screaming. And I guess everybody else had pretty big eyes. My roommate and I were told the story by the deputy chairman of the honor committee, and we weren't surprised. We understood that the ghost, who we sometimes called Phil Dress Gray, or Phil for short, did something like that because we kind of knew that he was kind of a nasty bugger. There was another thing that the guy who was my first detail B squad leader was on the battalion staff, and he and two of his battalion staff firstie friends went into our room one night when we were out at a hop, and my squad leader thought he saw the ghost, and they had a thermocouple, and he directed another one of the classmates to right where the ghost was standing, and he put the thermocouple in the ghost's chest. The thermocouple shorted out at minus 18 degrees centigrade, almost instantly. And there was something really weird about our room. If you put the thermocouple right on the radiator, it was 44 degrees centigrade. If you put it an inch above the radiator, an inch in front of the radiator, or anywhere else in the room was 27 degrees centigrade. It was really kind of weird how heat was being distributed in the room. It was not really all that natural, because the closer you got to the radiator, it should be warmer, but it didn't work that way. Everything else was exactly the same, which just kind of gave them all the heebie-jeebies. But when the one upperclassman was holding the end of the thermocouple, his sleeve froze almost instantly, and he felt like he was putting his arm into a deep freeze. We thought that was pretty interesting, but again, we had seen all this kind of stuff and experienced it. So it was kind of nice to have it confirmed by scientific instruments who cannot be emotional or fooled. We even had a photograph of him, and the photograph was really weird. He was standing next to my bed, and you could see his face reflected in the floor. I had a copy of it, my roommate had a copy of it, and my sponsor, who was then Major Howard, was given a copy of the picture of the ghost. A photo that I can't find anymore, that my roommate can't find his anymore, and retired Major General Bob Howard had a picture of it, and I don't know if he still has it or not. There was a drawing of a ghost in a New York Times piece later that month in October, and it was actually a reproduction of the drawing that my roommate and I did. The story that was in the Times wasn't correct, but the picture was good. Horror movies aren't scary. I can tell you that. You see these horror movies where these people are see a ghost, Hollywood has no clue. That whole genre of films is almost comical to us that have really experienced it. We woke up one morning seeing red X's painted on the windows, blood red, and we hauled ass after that and went up to the 5th floor. After that, we may have seen him only once or twice, but it wasn't a constant thing. I think he basically stayed in the vicinity of that room, and we stayed out of that room. We never went back in that room until the 30th reunion. We noticed then that it was still not occupied as a cadet room, and that pretty much since then it hadn't been. I think that's a good move, because it's hard enough being a cadet and having the rigors of the studies, but when you can't even sleep at night because you're someplace that's haunted, it becomes a real challenge. Why it chose that location or came after us, frankly, no clue. Because we're both kind of ordinary guys, especially for West Point, so I don't think there was anything real special about us, or don't know what would be special about the location. Heard some strange things, and the coincidences are kind of weird. There was a colonel named O'Connor who died in the 1820s in a fire in that area. The one thing, both my roommate and I, and basically everybody involved, absolutely loved West Point. We didn't want to do anything to hurt West Point, but West Point was one of the few places where something like this could happen and as soon as they figured out you were telling the truth, you got the full protection of the academy, which was kind of nice. It was nice that they didn't really release our names to the press and make life miserable for us or our family members back home. Being a plebe was hard enough. Being a plebe and not being able to sleep at night was even harder. And my roommate and I were very lucky to have been in company G4 when this happened, because just what outstanding people the upperclassmen were that dealt with this and didn't hold it against us. Wasn't the easiest thing for them. Tactical officer, naval officer, Lieutenant Commander McDonald. Wasn't an easy thing for him to be away from the Navy and to put up with this kind of distraction or extra attention. And the courage and the honor that the upperclassmen and the tactical officer showed left an impression on my roommate and I. And we have spent our lives trying to live up to their